Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Allison's Corner. Of course, I am your host, Allison. And today's episode is going to feel like one of those deep conversations that you have with your best friend late at night when the makeup is off, your hair is wrapped, and you are just sitting on the couch with snacks, being honest, okay? Because today I'm talking about something that I've been reflecting on a lot lately, and it's what I would tell my 25-year-old self. Now, let me go ahead and paint the picture for you. I thought at 25 that I knew it all. And in some ways, I did. I was working my very first big girl job out of college. I had responsibilities, and I was really making conscious decisions and choices that shaped my future. But at the same time, I was truthfully very confused. I was worried about timelines. I was comparing myself to everyone else. And I had no idea that some of the lessons I really needed would come from falling flat on my face. Because here's the thing, I think we all have that version of ourselves that we look back on and we just want to hug. And sometimes you want to shake her, and sometimes you want to say, "Girl, don't do that." But mostly you just want to tell her, it's going to be okay. And maybe as you listen, you'll hear something that feels like it's for you right now. Because honestly, even though I'm saying these things are what I would tell 25-year-old Allison, I have to keep it real. I still need some of these reminders today because growth is not a straight line. So let's go ahead and get into it. 10 lessons, 10 things I wish I'd known sooner, or at least believed sooner. And the first one is a big one. So let's go ahead and get our drinks and go into today's episode. The first thing that I would tell myself, lesson number one, stop rushing the timeline. 25-year-old me thought that life came with deadlines. I thought that I would be married by 28, kids by 30, established career by 32, and if I wasn't there yet, it was straight panic mode. I remember going to a friend's engagement party around that age, and the whole time I was happy for her, genuinely happy for her. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, what about me? Am I behind? What's going on? And I feel like that's the trap when you try to rush the timeline. You start measuring your life against somebody else's stopwatch. And the thing that I want y'all to know is that life doesn't work like that. Some people meet the love of their life at 22, some meet them at 42, and I'll be honest, some never do. Some people get their dream job at 25, and others don't find their passion until they're 50. But neither of them are wrong because when you rush, you settle. You say yes to relationships that aren't right just because you think that time is running out. And you stay in jobs that truthfully make you super miserable because you think at the very least you're stable, and you push yourself into these milestones that they don't even belong to you. And I wish that I could have really sat myself down and told myself, you are not late, you're not behind, and you are right on time for everything that is happening in your life. Because when I look back, those years of feeling like I was behind, they were actually my building blocks. You know, detours that I thought were detours at that time, they weren't detours at all. They were the road. So, if you're listening right now and you feel like you're behind in love, in money, in your career, I just want to say this so that it can help free you. There is no behind. Your path is yours, and it's not supposed to look like anybody else's. Lesson number two: protect your peace like it's your job. Okay? At 25, I had a habit of saying yes to everything. I said yes to plans I didn't even want to go to, extra work or tasks that they would, give me at work that I didn't really have time for, people who drained me. I thought that being available made me kind or dependable. But really, it just made me tired and resentful of everything. And I want y'all to know that peace is priceless. And you have to treat peace like it is your full time job. Because learning to say no without apologizing was one of the hardest things for me. The first time I declined plans just because I needed rest, I felt guilty. And y'all, the freedom that came after just saying no, life changing. Okay? Peace isn't just about what you say no to, it's about what you let in. And that can go for so many things: relationships, jobs, even the media that you consume. Protecting your peace is choosing what has access to you. And at 25, I didn't know how valuable my energy was, because now I treat it like it's currency. You don't hand money to just anybody, and you don't hand your peace over to just anybody. So treat it as such. Lesson number three: your friendships will evolve, and that is okay. At 25, I thought my circle would look the same forever. But here's the truth: friendships do change, and some fade, some deepen, and some end. And that doesn't mean failure, it just means people grow in different directions. And I used to hold on to certain friendships out of guilt. I'd force connections that weren't serving either of us. And I wish I'd known sooner that it's okay to let go, because some friends are honestly seasonal. And that season doesn't make them less valuable. It just means their role for that time in your life is complete. And the beautiful part of all of that is that the friends who are meant to walk with you for the long haul, they will also grow and evolve with you. Lesson number four: learn financial discipline early. Okay. At 25, brunch and Amazon had me in a chokehold. I didn't know anything, budgets, retirement funds, nothing. I thought I had time to figure it all out later. But I really want to stress to you that every dollar is a seed. And if you don't start planting early, trust me when I say this, you will wish that you had. And I'd go back and I'd tell my younger self, girl, open up that savings account, learn about credit, put even if it's $50 to your 401k or whatever retirement fund that you can. Okay, every month, just make that transaction. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want it to be consistent, because financial discipline is not about restrictions, it's about freedom. And it's about that freedom from stress, from living paycheck to paycheck, and just being stuck in situations where you don't have the money to leave. Lesson number 5: healing is not optional. At 25, I experienced a death of a loved one who was really close to me. My grandmother passed away, and that really, I guess at the time, even though it was the lowest point in my life at that time, now looking back, I see it as a valley that really helped me in growing. And I thought that ignoring my pain was the same as moving on. And I was very wrong about that, because healing, it doesn't happen by accident. Unhealed wounds leak out, and they leak out in relationships, at work, and how you even choose to talk to yourself. And I'd really wish that I could go back and tell myself, girl, go to therapy, journal, pray, but don't carry yesterday's pain into tomorrow, because healing isn't optional. If you don't do it intentionally, I promise you, life will force you to. Lesson number 6: stop shrinking yourself to fit in. I remember at 25, I worried about being too much, being too ambitious, too opinionated, too loud. So I purposely shrank myself in order to make others comfortable. But let me tell you this: the people who are meant for you will never be intimidated by your shine. They will clap for you, they will cheer you on, and they will help you grow. So the one thing that I would definitely tell her: stop shrinking. You need to shine. The ones who cannot handle it, that's not your problem, that's their problem. Lesson number 7: take care of your body now, not later. I remember when I was younger, I thought my body would bounce back from anything. Fast food at midnight, just drinking coffee for breakfast, not getting any sleep. And maybe it did then, but habits, they start to catch up with you. And trust me when I say, I am now feeling the effects of some of my bad habits in my 20s. Because in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, they're built on what you do in your 20s. So I would go back and I would definitely tell her, move your body, drink water, go to sleep, and eat the food that really fuels you. And another very important one: go to the doctor. Health isn't just physical, but it's also that mental, emotional, spiritual mindset that you need, that carries you through. And taking care of yourself, trust me when I say this, it is an act of love that your future self will definitely appreciate. Lesson number 8: love will not complete you. At 25, I thought the right relationship would just fix everything. That once I found love, I'd feel whole. But love isn't a band aid, it's not a completion, it's addition. And I would really tell her, be whole first. And then love from overflow, not from emptiness. Because when you know your worth, you stop settling. You stop confusing attention for affection. And when you do that, you begin to build healthier relationships with your significant others. Lesson number 9: failures are just data. I remember I was so terrified of failing. I thought it proved that I wasn't good enough. But now I know failure isn't final. It's definitely feedback. Every failure has taught me something success could never. And looking back, the things I thought that were the end of the world, like I said before, they were just my stepping stones. So I would definitely tell her, don't fear failure. What you should fear is staying stuck because you never even tried. And then, last but certainly not least, lesson number 10, you are enough right now. If I could go back and tell my 25-year-old self one thing, it would be that you are enough right now. Not when you get the job, not when you lose the weight, not when you find the partner, but right now. Because at the end of the day, worthiness isn't something you earn, it's something that you already have. So, those are the 10 things I tell my 25-year-old self. And maybe as you listened, one of them landed for you. Maybe you're in your 20s right now, feeling behind, you're worried about timelines, or maybe you're older and you still struggle with shrinking yourself or protecting your peace or believing you're enough. Wherever you are, I want you to know this, that you are not alone, and growth, it's lifelong. These lessons aren't just for one age, they are for all of us. And sometimes we have to learn those lessons over and over and over again, okay? So take what you need, share it with someone who might need it too. And again, thank you for always being a part of Allison's Corner. Before we leave, I want to end today's episode with a quote. And our quote reads, "These are the days your younger self dreamt of, and your older self will long for." As always, God bless. Have an amazing day. And thank y'all for listening to Allison's Corner.